Hello. In the previous videos, in one of the videos actually, several of them, we talked about this issue that sometimes you get a 500 error like this, an internal server error. And during development, you would like probably to see something else here on the screen, not just this 500 error. And during production, that's a separate deal. We'll talk about this later. But now I would like to focus on how to improve this page when you're developing your code. So let me see how this example we got here. We have in the show errors directory, we have an application. So I'm going to open it with Vim. That's the application. And in the application, we have the main route, and which is just some text and a link. And then in the calc route, we have a division by 0. Okay, nothing special. We already saw this example. So I go to a separate terminal, and here I run pluck up -r. So it's going to reload all the time as we are running it. I won't have to touch this anymore, or look at it. So now if I click back, I can reload the page. It's the same calc page, same main page. I can click on the calc icon, link, and then I get this 500 error. And that's what we saw. How can we get this a better error message here? So we can go to the terminal and specifically to the editor, and we can configure it. In a Dancer application that has multiple files and the templates externally and so on, then you probably will be using configuration files for this. But you can also do some configuration internally in the application. So because this is a single file application, I think this is the main way to do this. So let me show you how can you set some configuration here. So inside Dancer, inside application, you can say set, and then the name of the configuration keyword. So in this case, it's show. Okay, I have to type correctly errors, and then this has to be set to something true. So let's say 1. Okay, and I save the file. If I switch back to the other terminal, then you can see that the process was already killed and restarted. Okay, so it's automatically noticed it. That's one thing that I mentioned, that in Windows it for some reason didn't work for me. So now if I go back to the browser and reload this page, then I get a nice error message, or much nicer. Okay, so among error messages, this is the nice one. Okay, because it tells me the exception actually, and which line and so on, and it again shows me the source code. So it's pretty nice, I think. If I had like a default application of Dancer, then it would also add some CSS to make it even nicer. We'll be able to see that later on when we get to that. But for now, that's good. Now, the problem here, okay, so there's still a problem, and there's a need to be improved, that if I go now back to the file, so now I have this configuration written in the file. So when I'm going to release this to production, I'll have to remove this line, right? Because I don't want in the production environment that if there is some problem, I definitely don't want the users to see this output. I don't want to see them the pass, the exception, and then my source code. Definitely not. Okay. So what I could do at this point, if I don't have separate configuration files, that instead of hard coding the one here, I can say that there is an environment variable. Let's say called it Dancer error. Okay, you can pick any variable name as you like. Now, as I saved it, okay, if I save this, because this environment variable is not defined, if I go back, well, first of all, because I saved it, this process was restarted, so I know that it's the new version. And then if I go back to this page that gave me a 500 error, if I reload it, now it gets me back to the old, boring, and not so informative page, which is the right page to show in production environment. And now what we can do is that for this I have to stop the process, but I can provide this environment variable. So it was Dancer error, I think. Do I remember correctly? Let me check it. Dancer error, that was the variable. and I can give it the value here, and I can run this application this way. Okay, so now because I'm in a Linux shell, I set the environment variable and I run the application. So if I go back to the browser and I reload it, then I get back the error message. So now it's okay that we have this setting in the process, in the code, because in normal production environment, we won't set this environment variable, and therefore we won't, the users won't see the error messages. And while in production, I can set it. And let me just stop it for a second. So in Windows, you would probably, I think you have to do it first. You have to put set dancer error. This one, you have to run this one, and then you can just run pluck up as usual. So that's the way how you would set it in an environment variable in a Windows system, because you can't do this one-liner that you can do it in Linux. So that's it for now. We will go to next video. In the next slide, we're going to cover next subject we're going to cover in the next video.